What's going on, people? Welcome to One More Watch, Please. In this episode, I'm talking to Christian, who's the founder of Ocean Crawler Watches. Ocean Crawler makes amazing dive watches, which I haven't seen anything like that before. So without further ado, let's dive into our conversation with Christian and find out everything about his brand and amazing watches. So hey Christian, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah. Excited.
Cool. How's your day been so far? I know it's still early morning there.
Yeah, I mean it's been good. It's my kids' first day back in school, so um, we had to get them up early and deal with the first day back at school nerves and stuff like that. But we dropped them off and it's feels good because I've had them in the house most of the summer, so now I can get on a call like this and not feel like I'm gonna have a kid running in and asking for food. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can feel you. I'm in the same situation, but their school doesn't start until next week. That's why I try and do this in the evenings once they're asleep.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I think with my wife working from home as well, I think we both can be on important calls at the same time. So you can never know what's going to happen. I think usually when I know she's gone, in a board meeting or something like that, I try to help out. But sometimes we both have things going on. So it's interesting to see what happens. And my daughter loves. I sometimes lock my door, thinking, okay, well, this is an important meeting. I don't want interruptions. But she gets a spoon, and then she knows how to unlock the door, and she won't care. She'll just sneak in the background and then start whispering on my ear what she needs. And so I'm happy that they're back in school. Actually, thinking back, yeah,
Cool. So yeah, why don't we tell the viewers a bit about your background and how did you get into watchmaking?
I've always been into watches. I love collecting watches. From age maybe 8 or 9, I remember looking at my dad's watches and being mesmerized by the case backs. So I would just look at the intricate details and love that and admire that. So I've had that since a very very early age, but didn't really click until later in life that I really loved watches that way. I would always have a small collection of 6, 8, 9 watches, but I didn't really get into the automatics and higher end watches until my maybe mid to late 20s. That grew slowly until I guess I opened my own brand when I just discovered there's stuff out there that not necessarily is available that I would have liked to have. So I just figured, why not just make it? Yeah.
Sounds good. And I really like most of your watches, I would say, and I would like to have at least some of them in my own collection, maybe sometime in future.
Of course. Yeah, let me know. I mean, you can always go over some details, but yeah, I mean, my background is not in watches. I mean, I went to university in the UK actually. I went to Newcastle for software engineering, microelectronics and software engineering, and I did that for a while. I started a business, a software company. We developed a lot of security software to tackle a lot of mostly to do with antivirus, anti-spyware, stuff like that, and it took off. It did really well for a while. But I was in my early 20s, and I was, kind of working really hard, and I was burnt out very early on. So by the age of 24, I exited that and I started looking for a different direction, and I think that's how eventually I run into watches. Why do something that you might not enjoy as much, and get burned out when you could just enjoy every single minute of it, and design and have fun with a slow moving industry. Like watches are not they haven't changed very much for 200 years. So
Yeah.
instead of having to worry about like when is my software going to be out of date, maybe in 2 weeks you have to
Yeah.
update it. A watch you don't have to update, and they haven't really changed very much in 200 years. So in terms of movements and the technology is just fascinating how you don't really need to change it very much.
Yeah, I think I'm from the technology background as well, in specific software development, and I do agree with you that it's moving at a really fast pace, that it's getting really hard to keep up with everything.
Yep. And it turned from a fun, I don't know, it used to be fun, for me, at least, growing up in the 80s and 90s, to see that develop. It was developing very fast. Technology was developing fast, but slow enough that you could enjoy and see those changes. Every
Yeah.
year you get a new computer, things get faster, you get better games, you get to enjoy better software. And those changes over the few decades were fun. I think right now things are starting to move way too fast, that it's just a headache to keep up with all the information that comes your way, and the less I take of that, I think it's the more you enjoy life. So so
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
technology.
So yeah, let's talk a bit about Ocean Crawler as a brand. So what's the story behind the brand, and what's your main mission?
Well, Ocean Crawler. I guess I'll start with a name. I was just sitting down at a coffee shop one day in St. Petersburg, Florida. I used to live in Florida for a while, and I was in that spot of, okay, let's start thinking about business ideas, business names, and I always was playing around with the idea of a watch company. And I don't know, just the name came to me, Ocean Crawler. Why not? That sounds like an amazing diving watch company, like a perfect name for a company that would focus on diving and diving watches. So I searched for the name. It was not available, and I reached out to the person that owned the domain name, and they sent me a price. So in the space of an hour, I ended up buying the domain name for Ocean Crawler, and spending, it wasn't too expensive, but it was enough money that I was like, okay, well, I got to start a watch company now. So, I can't waste money like that. So that was what sealed the deal, but I had not really started anything until that day. And I think so the name came first. So Ocean Crawler came first, and bought the domain name, and then the idea developed into the watch company.
Cool.
But yeah, I always had in the background the idea of the watch company. I don't know. The name came to me, and then I was just, well, if I spend money, I gotta do it.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah.
If you gotta put your mind something.
But yeah, I mean, it took it took a lot of time. I mean, I didn't come from a background of watchmaking, so it took me a good amount of time to come up with a few designs and sketches, and then figure out all the people that were going to get involved in the project. And then I was very picky at the beginning, and like I'm sure everybody is, but I didn't have any time constraints of, like how people start with Kickstarter, or they have some sort of project online. This was my own personal project for a very, very long time. I was not sharing it with a lot of people outside of the small team developing the watch. And so it took a good 16 months to make the first watch, because it had to be, just as I wanted it. Then it had to be tested. It had to go to different places. It had to be to the quality that we wanted. So I don't know. It was almost like it dragged on for 16 months, which is a long time. I mean, if you think about, like, people releasing a watch and rushing through the process. I think that's what makes things a lot, very, very different from the usual. Yeah.
Cool. I think next I wanted to touch on the challenges that you faced when you first started your brand. And I think you mentioned some of them being one of them being taking a long time to launch your first model. But I think that sort of things are kind of expected when you're launching a product, right? You need to make sure that the product is right. So what were some other challenges that you faced when you first started your brand?
From the beginning, it's a learning process, right? So you have to learn every single aspect of the production. And I think that's why it probably takes a very long time the first time. Just finding out how you're going to market it, how you're going to like brand it, price points, all of that is a learning curve. But I would say the most challenging part is the coming up with the designs that you enjoy and you want people to enjoy, and making them to the standard you want. So you might end up ordering prototypes and then not liking them, and then you have to order all over again and then again until you get things right. So it can be frustrating if you want things done quicker. Then obviously you have to compromise. But yeah, there's certainly challenges, but you can make make it a learning experience along the way, and then make the most of it.
Cool. And if you were to share one of the top tip for anyone who wants to start their own micro brand, what would that be?
Okay. I would say just find the niche that you enjoy most. I mean, I just happen to be diving watches, but just focus on one specific niche at first, and then you can expand after that. I think it can be overwhelming if you try to do a bit of everything at once. But I would say that just take your time and focus on one thing, and then once you do that thing right, then you can expand to other aspects of the business. Yeah.
Cool. And I think maybe let's talk about the start of the show. Which watch have you got for us today?
Well, right now I'm wearing it's the Ocean Crawler a Bolt, which is released from last year. It's a 42 millimeter integrated bracelet. It's got a Sellita SW200 movement, 42 millimeters, 60 ATM. It's the thinnest. I don't know if you can see how thin it is. I'm gonna check, see if I can make this work. But it's the thinnest 60 ATM watch in production. It's 12 millimeters thick, but good to 60 ATM, which is pretty cool for it not being thicker than usual. I'll just compare it to another watch that we have. This is a core diver, and this one's a 60 ATM as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, you can see the difference, right?
Yeah, definitely, you can tell the difference.
Yeah, so that was a fun thing to do. So this gives you an option. It's a far more dressier watch than your typical diver, but you can still use it for deep diving. And the core diver is this on a rubber strap. It comes on a shark mesh as well. But
yeah, is that one of your upcoming models, the core diver?
We always have an upcoming core diver in a different type of style, but yeah, I mean the upcoming models, I would say we have this model coming up. It's it looks a bit like a champion diver, but it's got that coin edging on the bezel, but it's got like big deep numbers filled with lume, and it's also a 40 This is a 42 millimeter. Oh no, actually, it's a 41. This is a brand new one that is going to be 41 millimeters. And so yeah, this is probably going to be the next release over the next 4 weeks. Just for comparison, I guess this is a usual champion diver. Oops. And then this is the new crawler one. So this is 44 and this one's 41. So, a lot of the sizes have been trending downwards a bit. So we're bringing out a few smaller pieces. Although this one will wear, nicely for anybody that likes big watches anyway. But it's a 41, so it makes a good difference in size.
Yeah, you can tell the difference. I personally like big dials.
Yeah. Oh well, then stick to the champion diver. I mean, especially with the new. I wish I had one available, but the the new dials we're releasing, the NML ceramic NML dials. Those are really cool.
Yeah, is that the Kraken?
Yeah, we have one Kraken.
Yeah, I really like those dials. They're really creative, I would say. I haven't seen anything like that before.
Thank you. Yeah, so we have that. We have a Piranha as well, and a couple more options out there, and probably have another one soon. Yeah.
And yeah, thanks for showing all these really nice watches. I think the main question now is how can the viewers buy them? How can they get to your website?
The easiest way is to go to the website. It's all one word, oceancrawler.com. You can also check them out on Instagram and on Facebook. I would say for them to sign up to the email list is the best way to keep up to date, and then get those pre-order offers sent to them. That's when a lot of people purchase the watches when they're still on pre-order, because they can get a discount while they wait for those 3-4 weeks. That's it. I mean, oceancrawler.com. All one word. That's the domain name that started the whole company. So
that started everything. But don't worry, you don't have to remember everything by heart. I'll put the description of the Instagram handle and the website in the description below. So make sure you check it out before the watches run out, because they're quite popular.
Yeah. I mean, they do tend to run out, and we try to have a release every month so that there's always watches in stock. So we were at the first couple of years we were running out of stock, and the website kept being like just out of stock of everything, and I think that was a bit disappointing for some buyers. So we now try to keep things moving. If we release this one and it sells out next month, we have something else coming up, but it might not be available in the same color and the same way that you see it right now. That's the only downside, because they're all limited editions, and we only manufacture in small batches of 100. So, like you say, they do run out.
Cool. So to wrap things up, what is the future of Ocean Crawler? Are you gonna stick to making diving watches, or are you thinking of getting into any of the niches?
It's possible that we will get into another niche. It's something that I've been playing with a couple of our close suppliers, as well as how can we turn our current branding and turn it into a different niche. But it's usually you have to be passionate about what you're doing, right? So I don't want to get into something just because we can. I think I want to want things to make sense, and I do like field watches as well, and maybe there's like a way to get into that too. But we'll see. I mean, it's not out of the question. So if we've been playing around with ideas, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I was going to say the thing that you're doing with your dials would really go nicely with the Pilot and the field watches.
That's true. Yeah.
Because they
I think
normally
I've seen
come
a little
with
bit of that on Pilot watches. I can't remember the name of the brand, but it's. I went to Basel a few years ago, and they had like a fun line of watches with some enamel on the dials. And yeah, I mean that would be an interesting take on a Pilot. So yeah, I mean, it all depends on where what direction we take, but like you say, it's if you find a niche that you enjoy and have passion for, I think it's always a good idea to give it a try. Why not just try it and see where it goes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, thanks, Christian, for joining us today. It's been fun talking to you and looking at all the amazing watches. And I really hope we can make more videos in future. Maybe talk about each of your models in detail.
Yeah, that I would be up for that. I mean, I don't know how much of it translate on video, but I could do something like that where I also send you the pictures later on, and then you can have like me showing it, and then a picture of it on the side. I think that would work.
Yeah, definitely. We can try something out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Yeah, thanks again for your time. I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, great talking to you. You take care.
Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe the channel for more amazing content like this. I will leave all the Ocean Crawler links in the description below, so make sure you check them out and pick up your first dive watch or one of the many dive watches. See you next time.